I will go ahead. I will go ahead and go on record as saying that I find it a little bit weird, people who become like obsessed over celebrities. Not that I don't understand it, because I totally understand it. It freaks me out just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Perfume Vegas. Welcome back to my perfume closet. Welcome back to another video. I'm Holly Golightly, and I am here to share a tag video with you today. Then I was tagged by the incomparable Moody Boo of Moody Boo Reviews, and so I'm like, yes, and at the same time I was like, ah. So here I am. My scent of the day, just in case anyone wanted to know before we get into the chit-chatting, is Zara Pink Flambe. I'm finding that I like these Zara fragrances more and more as I am using them. This particular one, as an eau de toilette, is very easy. Oh geez. This particular one is an eau de toilette, so it's just an easy kind of dumb reach. Which I'm finding very useful. So I'm finding them very useful when we're staying home, just because as much as I like to break out my more expensive perfumes, sometimes it's like I really have to think about it before I do that, and so sometimes I don't want to think about it too hard, so I just reach for those. Okay. So let's just get on with it then. The tag video that I'm doing is scenting my celebrity crushes. I almost cheated. I'm just gonna wiggle myself this way. I almost cheated. I was gonna put some characters, like game characters, book characters in, which aren't technically portrayed by humans. I didn't. I know that's like a whole separate video tag in itself, and so I didn't do that. There's plenty of people who I find attractive, who I find interesting, who I am eager to know more about or to follow their careers, so that's what these people are. My number one, oh, I also forgot to mention, oh my god, my intros get longer and longer. To make it easier on myself, I chose all fragrances. All of these fragrances are from the Chanel Les Exclusives de Chanel line, because A, I smelled the whole line, and B, I don't have to try to think of something that I maybe don't know exactly how it smells or what exactly it's going to be like on, because that sort of stuff really stresses me out. It really does. That's why I was kind of dreading this, but this makes it easier on me. So I'm going to get started. My number one celebrity crush, one and two. The first two are my only true, like, crush type of energy vibes. The people who, like, I would probably, like, get really nervous if I saw them in person and, like, be like, oh my god, like, that energy. Number one is Jake Gyllenhaal. If you follow me on Instagram, which you should, Instagram's linked down below, you'll see me post in my Instagram stories. I just post pictures of him just because it cheers me up. I love his energy. I love his vibe. I think he's so handsome. There's everything about him is so attractive. But I love his vibe. I love his energy. I love his approach to his career. I love his kindness. I love how much he loves his family. So I'm a big fan, to say the least. And also, he's an extremely talented actor. Like, he's like bananas talented. He's also a great singer. Like, come on. Jake Gyllenhaal playing with puppies. Look that up on YouTube. For Jake, I chose from the Les Exclusives de Chanel, Bois d'E. It is a fragrance with just a really warm, woody scent. So I am reading the notes off of my computer. Yeah. So I'm reading the notes off of my computer, and then I'll kind of describe why I chose this. So, Wada-E is aldehydes, bergamot, neroli, and peach at the top. The heart of jasmine, rose, lily of the valley, iris, and ylang ylang, and vetiver, sandalwood, benzoin, and musk at the base. So it's a really gorgeous composition, like kind of smoky and woody, but also powdery and floral. It's a traditionally kind of masculine scent, but definitely unisex, where a woman could wear it as well. And I feel like that sort of, again, I think all of these fragrances are very gender neutral. And I think all of these people could easily wear any type of fragrance. But I feel like that this kind of warm, sensual fragrance, would work well with Jake's appearance as well as his personality. And I think it would also be a really easy fragrance for him to wear casually as well as to dress up for special events. So that's why I chose Wada-E for my number one pick, Jake Gyllenhaal. Number two is the longest crush that I've had, and it is going strong still. This has been at least 15 years going on still. So Mr. Urban, if you see this, call me. Okay. It's Carl Urban, Kiwi actor, most famous for his work in Xena Warrior Princess, and then he was also in the movie, that's not right. I'm trying to think of the one with Vin Diesel. I'm not sure what the name is. There's a series, and Vin Diesel is the main character, and Carl Urban was in it. But he's been in some movies. He's in Lord of the Rings. He's Éomer. I think that was what his character was, Éomer. He's done work on TV, and then most recently he did the TV series The Boys for Amazon Prime. But yeah, he's been my favorite actor, my favorite male celebrity. He's been my favorite male celebrity since his work in Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules The Legendary Journeys back in the 90s. I'm a big fan. I feel like he's a very underrated actor. I feel like he is also very underrated in his looks. He has a very rugged look, but at the same time, when you look at pictures of him, like when he's clean shaven, or especially when he was younger, he's almost androgynously pretty. But as he's aged, he's gotten more kind of rugged and masculine looking. And I just think that he's super, super gorgeous, and he's super, super talented, and he seems like just a really nice, down-to-earth guy, and I love that. So for Carl Urban, I chose my personal favorite from the Les Exclusives line, Cœur de Russie, and that is a leather scent, obviously, but it's also inspired by the Grand Duke, I believe, of Russia. I'm not sure which one, but it's a very opulent scent. It's not just like straight masculine leather and smoke scent. There's a lot of depth, a lot of nuance to it. So I'm gonna look that up for you really quick. So according to Fragrantica, it has scents of balsam, jasmine, birch, tobacco, and woods, as well as leather. From the Chanel website, we also have some musk and tobacco. I think I said tobacco already, but it's just a really rich, it's sexy and sensual, again leaning masculine, but very, very unisex fragrance, real deep, and I feel that it fits both his appearance. Again, it fits both Carl's appearance as well as his personality, which is very outdoors oriented. He enjoys being on the water, on the ocean, fishing, that sort of thing. So, also encompassing his body of work, which is very action sort of oriented in regards to the style of acting that he does. So yeah, for Carl Urban, my number two crush from Chanel Les Exclusives is Bois de Russie. So Number three. Number three is also a Kiwi actor. There are, I will put this, number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all Kiwis, New Zealanders. Why? I don't know how that happened. Just, I was really influenced by Xena, warrior princess, growing up. You see that reflected in this list. This actor, however, is not, he's new to me. I discovered him when I started watching The Boys. And that is Anthony Starr. And I love the character of Homelander. Is my favorite character in the show. So I started following Anthony on Instagram to get to know the kind of the man behind the mask. He is so fun and funny. Like, his personality seems very similar to my own. I feel like if we met, we would be really great friends. He has almost like an impish type of humor. He reminds me of like kind of like a boy trapped in a man's body, like, you know, never getting older, Peter Pan style. And so that's why for Anthony Starr, I chose from Chanel's Exclusives, Boy. So yes, it's pretty, I mean, it's not self-explanatory because it is a pretty unisex Boy is a unisex scent. Again, they all are. But this is a very true kind of fougere scent with lavender, with geranium, heliotrope, sandalwood, some musk. It's quite aromatic, and it's a little bit irreverent. It was designed by, or was requested, or I'm not sure how it worked, but Gabrielle Chanel had the perfume created for her other half, her soulmate. And sometimes I feel like that if Anthony Starr and I met, we would be like twins. And so that was why I chose Boy from Chanel's Exclusives for Tony Starr. Also, I think that he would rock the scent. Like, he's the kind of person who would wear, I feel like he would wear a feminine fragrance with no problem. Like, he would just put it on and rock it no matter what. And this type of sort of feminine fougere scent is just, perfect, I think, is so good for people who are comfortable wearing unisex scents, especially men. They smell bomb on men. So more men need to start wearing them. So that was for Anthony Starr, Boy from Chanel's Exclusives to Chanel. Next, another New Zealand actress, the Kiwi actress Lucy Lawless. Lucy Lawless was probably my first girl crush, I'm not gonna lie. She was a big part of my middle school and high school years. Her portrayal of Xena, Warrior Princess, really was just something major for me and for a lot of people that I'm still friends with to this day. To have a really fierce feminine role model like that, especially one with some LGBT sort of idealizations. It was never confirmed in the show whether Xena and Gabrielle were lovers, but I have heard that later on, after the show ended, there was some people who were officially attached to the show who said that yes, it was written that way on purpose. So I don't, it's not a yes thing, but it was like, yeah, it was definitely meant to be that way. And that was also really important for a lot of people that I know, that they could see a representation of themselves in two women who were extremely close, but didn't necessarily have to be lovers, but also could definitely be lovers depending on how you read the energy. just made it more comfortable for people to be comfortable, especially for some gay women that I know that, struggled with that. So Lucy Lawless was always, a part of my myself, like the identity that I grew up into, that the way that that was portrayed helped shape that. So I wanted to really do her justice with this choice of fragrance. And so for that, I have picked Jersey. Another lavender fragrance, oddly enough, but this time it's like the aromatic lavender reimagined to a more feminine ideal. Lavender and vanilla, I know, are some of the main notes, but let me pull up the notes of the fragrance for you. So Fragrantica says that Jersey is an olfactory garment, an aromatic floral and powdery lavender shrouded in a cloud of white musk and spiced by rich vanilla. It doesn't really seem to fit with the idea of Lucy Lawless as a warrior princess. It doesn't feel masculine enough for that, but that's exactly where I was going with that, because to just put her in a box as being able to only represent a certain type of woman, I feel is very much against the whole idea of where I'm going with this, because I've seen her play so many roles. I've seen her play, like, romantic leads. I've seen her play female sidekicks. I've seen her play badass kick butt bitches. I've seen her play best friends. She's just a beautiful, versatile person who has a beautiful heart and soul, and I feel like that Jersey really, it kind of encompasses that beauty, also embraces her femininity, which even as the warrior princess, she never strayed away from. So that is why I chose Chanel's Exclusives Jersey for Lucy Lawless. Next, we have another kick-ass woman, a beautiful woman. All of the women on my list are so gorgeous. Obviously there's a level of attraction, a physical attraction, but they're like gorgeous inside and out, and it's just, everybody on this list is gorgeous inside and out. Let's be real. We wouldn't be crushing on them if they weren't. But these women, I feel like God gave them something extra, right? So the next one on the list is Angelina Jolie. Why wouldn't it be? Why couldn't I have a list of my celebrity crushes without having Angelina Jolie on it? She's gorgeous. She's been gorgeous forever. She's I feel like she's the kind of person who's very misunderstood, but doesn't care enough to take the time to correct the things about her that are misunderstood. She just lives her own life, does her own thing, and doesn't really worry about what other people think about it. And that in itself is extremely important in a role model for girls, especially for girls. But also, she's a good-hearted person. She's somebody who I feel like she would really give the shirt off her back to somebody in need. And for her, it's maybe a different type of person than it is for other people. Like, she's very deeply into work with the United Nations, with refugees, women and children. So, it may not look the same as it does with with other people, but that it's still there, that deep-seated feeling of that this is a good person, and this person has been treated in the media a certain way that I don't think that she deserved. But there's also, I think, a level of jealousy because she is just so beautiful and she is truly talented. So anyway, enough with the fangirling. For Angelina Jolie, I chose this exclusive Chanel beige. And I feel like she is, not only does it kind of encapsulate her physical idea or like the way that she presents herself, because she's very, very simple. Her sense of style is very simplistic. She wears mostly black. I believe that if she wears a scent, she probably always wears the same scent. I doubt she has a huge collection. She's definitely seems to me like the type of signature scent woman that you would really always associate with a fragrance. I know she was the face of Mon Guerlain, and so there was an idea to move away maybe from that kind of idea. Beige is a floral, but it's a slightly like greener, woodier floral. It's super, super unisex. It is truly just as Coco Chanel wanted it, which is just a blank canvas, just a blank, beautiful fragrance canvas that you could basically imprint your sense of self onto. And I think that's something really wonderful and special. And I feel like of all the people on this list, Angelina Jolie is the one with the strongest personality that could truly make something her own and so unique to the point where other people would not even be able to smell it without immediately thinking of her. So, for Angelina Jolie, I chose from Les Exclusives de Chanel, Beige. The next person on this list shot to mind immediately after I thought of Lucy Lawless, and how could I not include him, because he's amazing. If you don't know Bruce Campbell, let me tell you, if you don't know Bruce Campbell, you don't know anyone. How are you even gonna call yourself a fan of anything? If you don't know Bruce Campbell, you aren't a fan. You can't call yourself a horror fan. You can't call yourself a sci-fi fan. You can't call yourself a fantasy fan. You can't, you have to know. So, Bruce Campbell is an American actor. He's been in everything. My God. If you're on a little bit more towards my age or older, you would probably remember The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. If you are like my age or a little bit maybe younger, we have Xena Warrior Princess. He was there as well. He's been in tons of movies. He was in the spy series Burn Notice. He is just an amazingly versatile actor who somehow brings his own twist to everything that he does. He's probably best known for Ash vs. Evil Dead, which was a horror movie franchise in the 80s and then became a TV show later in the 2000s. His sense of presence is very campy. He's like just fun and funny to be around. I feel like that if you want to lighten something up, bring Bruce Campbell into it, and it's just you're gonna get such positive energy from him that you can't help but have fun. So for Bruce, I chose the scent Sycamore. Les Exclusives de Chanel Sycamore, which I feel like is a great scent for him. It's masculine, and Bruce is a really masculine guy. He does his own stunts, I believe. He does like all sorts of crazy stuff, but it's also not like too presumptuous, and I think that's really one of the beautiful things about the entire Les Exclusives de Chanel line, is they're all these really beautiful, well-crafted fragrance, but they're not too presumptuous or too pretentious. So Sycamore is an amazing, probably the most masculine in my opinion of the fragrances I've chosen, but at the same time it's never like, oh, I'm such a man, I'm a manly man, because that's not his vibe at all. It's not Bruce Campbell's vibe at all. His vibe to me is like noticeable, like he's somebody who's very noticeable, but at the same time you don't know what you remember him from or where you've seen him before. Like you've seen him somewhere, but you don't know where. And the scent of Sycamore, while not being I'm not trying to say it's not unique, but it's again a kind of a masculine presence scent where it could be interchanged with other fragrances and you would never really realize. So for Bruce Campbell, I did choose Sycamore from Les Exclusives de Chanel. Sorry about my allergies, you guys. The next person is the only person on my list that is no longer with us. This person has passed away, and I almost didn't include him because I felt like it might be better to send people who are living, but at the same time, he is a huge crush of mine, so what was I to do? I chose Marlon Brando. Okay, Marlon Brando comes in at the seventh spot. Oh my God, Marlon Brando. He was like chocolate melting on your tongue. And I'm talking about young Marlon Brando. I'm purely talking about young Marlon Brando as he appeared in like Streetcar Named Desire, other things I'm like totally spacing on. He was in the musical, the movie musical adaptation of Guys and Dolls. Oh God, Marlon Brando had a face like the sun and a voice like a river. I'm sure he smelled amazing. Yeah, he was a good looker and talented too. Even into his, past his prime, his talent's still shown. So for Marlon Brando, I chose Coromandel. I had to. It had to be. I feel like that during that time period, the 50s, the 40s and 50s, to be wearing a fragrance that was quite a bit unisex was not uncommon for men or for women. Or maybe more for men, it was okay. Things like Chypre and Fougère scents are very unisex in their composition to begin with. And so, I think that probably the ingredients that were used, the natural, really earthy botanical ingredients that were being used, there wasn't a lot of the chemical stuff in place of them, made fragrances more unisex just in general. That's my opinion. I have not gone back in time to smell things, so maybe I should cut that part out. I don't know. But Coromandel for Marlon Brando, I feel like this is just a perfect fit. I feel like you couldn't do better for the fragrance or the man. I'm going to read you the notes if you haven't smelled it or just don't, kind of can't bring it to mind right off the top of your head. So Coromandel is a woody oriental. An oriental fragrance is already fairly unisex, leaning feminine, but a lot of unisex fragrances are oriental based. It has frankincense, benzoin, patchouli, amber, and is inspired by the exquisite Chinese lacquer screens that lined Mademoiselle Chanel's apartments. I feel like Marlon Brando is exquisite, and I feel like this scent would be exquisite on him. So for my only no longer with us celebrity crush, Marlon Brando, I chose Chanel L'Exclusive's Coromandel. That one got me a little... So number 8 is a Mexican actor. I know him from the Netflix series Diablero, and I think he's amazing. First of all, this is a man who is happily married with children, so we're not going to be disrespectful, but he is a handsome man. He has this really chiseled, rugged look that I love, beautiful caramel skin. Oh my God. He is a very attractive man. I love that show, Diablero. I absolutely adore it. The first season was amazing. The second season started off kind of weird, but ended on a really great, I was bawling at the end. Ended on a great note. I really, really hope they do a season 3 for Netflix. I would love that. And the person I'm speaking of is Horacio Garcia Rojas. I'm so sorry. I was just going on and on without even telling you who. Horacio Garcia Rojas is the actor in question. He's worked a lot in Mexico on television and movies. He was in a television show, or he was in Narcos also here for whatever network that was on. So you may know him. You probably might recognize his face as opposed to his name, but he is just he's so funny. And I don't know much about him outside of Diablero. So, but what I see of him, like, he's so funny. He's super talented, first of all, and then he's so funny. He has a really great way to play a serious scene, like, and just tweak it a little bit so that it's just like lightens the feeling. So Diableros, with even its like kind of weird and crazy subject matter, it never feels like dragging or weighty. Even in the second season, the parts of it that were like, what the F parts, still felt like they were having fun. I just think that he seems like a really fun person. He'd be great to go drinking with, I think. He just seems like a great guy. So for Horacio, I have chosen from the Chanel Les Exclusives line, Bel Respiro. And the reason I chose Bel Respiro, although it is a more feminine fragrance, I feel like it is quite feminine actually, but I think that it's a very like natural, earthy type of femininity, and there's something about him, about Horacio, that to me feels very like he would be quite in tune with his Mexican roots, his native roots, his just, you know, just in tune with himself and really grounded. And so this felt kind of like, I got the, you know, I get the idea of like a tumbling, and it just feels like so earthy and real. I feel like that's kind of probably how he is, just when he's on his own, alone. Maybe like he likes to like put his feet on the earth, the dirt, just get on there. I'll give you the notes though. So, Bel Respiro on Fragrantica is literally described as an outdoor perfume. It's an illuminating display of an ideal spring with green grass and a light breeze. A gentle and idyllic floral green fragrance. It represents freshness and sophistication, bringing together dewy grass, crushed leaves, and aromas associated with the garrigue. Garrigue? Well, that's one I don't know, but it's the scrublands of southern France. France has a scrubland? Do they have tumbleweeds? If you're from France, let me know in the comments. Do you have tumbleweeds? Do you know what tumbleweeds are? Have you ever seen a tumbleweed? Anyway, let me know. Anyway, so it's that fresh, outdoorsy feeling that I think really appeals to me for Horacio Garcia Rojas. So that was what I chose. Bel Respiro from Chanel. Les Exclusive to Chanel. Number 9. Are we at 9? Oh my god. It feels like it was like 5 and then it was 9 and I'm, whoa, that went fast. Number 9, I chose Trevor Noah. I love Trevor Noah. I think he's so attractive. I think he's funny. I think he's like a really great example of a millennial. A very great example of like a metro man, someone who is very cultured. But he's also quite humble, I feel. I don't know him, obviously, personally, so maybe he isn't. Maybe that's not him at all, but that's how he comes across to me. I love how much he loves his country. And again, that is also something about these last 3 are all non-Americans. So the same thing was with Horacio Garcia Rojas. I love how much he loves his country, which is Mexico. Trevor Noah is from South Africa, and I love that he loves South Africa. I love hearing him speak Xhosa. I love just his worldliness. He's clearly well-traveled, he's well-spoken, he is extremely smart, and he's super handsome. Like, How could you not? So for Trevor, I chose from the Les Exclusives line, La Pausa. It is a straight up just iris, an ode to the iris flower. So I just got this from the Chanel website, and it says, La Pausa, the house built for Gabrielle Chanel on land bought in 1928 above the village of the Roquebrune. It's elegant with its colonnades of cloisters and cheerful with its green shutters. The distant Italian coast can be seen on the horizon. To evoke its luxury and simplicity, Jacques Polget unravels all of the facets and contrasts of the iris flower for a scent that is both earthy and powdery, radiant and secret. An exquisite scent from Les Exclusives de Chanel collection. So, okay, so that's all of that. Reading all that is why I chose this. To be honest, the scent itself, I'm not that familiar with. I'm not sure if I have actually smelled La Pausa, but when I'm reading about this scent that has all of these like light and dark shades and facets, also, you know, elegance, beauty, timelessness, probably more feminine, but definitely sounds unisex. To me, I felt like that fit Trevor quite well, because he is a worldly person. Again, all of the people on this list, I feel like they would be really comfortable wearing both masculine and feminine scents, but maybe some would prefer a masculine or a feminine scent. I feel like Trevor Noah is definitely somebody who's comfortable with just wearing what they feel good in, whether it's clothes or fragrance or anything. And it sounds just... the idea of having like your eye on something in the distance, but being so secure in your body, I just felt like that fit him so well. So for Trevor Noah, it was La Pausa from Les Exclusives de Chanel. And our last choice. Number 10, we have one of my favorite women in the world, one of my favorite women of all time, Bollywood actress Aishwarya Rai, and she is so beautiful. You guys, if you have never seen her, I'm sure you've seen her, but you may not have realized, she's phenomenally gorgeous. First of all, she's a talented actress, and she's a wonderful humanitarian. Again, loves her country, loves India, loves being Indian, loves being Hindu, and I find that so sexy when people just love themselves that much, and just love where they came from that much. Amazing. And she is gorgeous to boot, so makes all the rest of us like limp noodles. I'm not putting myself down. I'm just saying, like, she's fantastic. For her, I chose 1957. 1957 is one of my favorites from the line. I actually have one of those totally adorable little minis of it. But it's so beautiful. It's got that same aldehydic, powdery scent that is very unique to Chanel fragrances, but at the same time it's a little bit richer. It doesn't have quite as much of a sparkling fluidity to it. It definitely feels more like it's grounded. It is very vintage feeling, but again, at the same time, despite feeling vintage, it's very easy to wear, in my opinion. And I just feel like the beauty of the fragrance suits her physical and inner beauty so well. Of all the people on this list, except maybe Jake Gyllenhaal and Karl Urban, there's no one whose fragrances are matching with their external appearance. Except for Aishwarya Rai. She's just so beautiful, and this fragrance is so beautiful, but it's also very easy to wear. It doesn't seem to take itself too seriously, and I don't feel like she takes herself too seriously. She does a lot of important work, humanitarian work in India, and Again, like I said, I know that her religion and her way of life are very important to her as an Indian woman, but she still feels like somebody who you could have as a girlfriend, and they wouldn't be, they would be like showing you up at every occasion, like accidentally, like that, that movie trope where your best friend is just amazing and is constantly showing you up, but you don't care because they're such a good person. Like, I feel like that's Aishwarya Rai. So 1957 has notes of bergamot, iris, neroli, cedar, and honey. It's sweet. It's a little bit deep. It's like I said, it's not as fizzy. It's more grounded, but it does have the aldehydes. It does have that iris. And it's just beautiful. It is really beautiful. A beautiful scent for a beautiful woman. So anyway, you guys, that is it. That is my 10 fragrances for my 10 celebrity crushes. If you want to see me do fragrances for book characters and video game characters, don't let me know in the comments, because I can do that. So otherwise, I know this is a super long video, so I won't draw out the ending. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it.